Greetings and welcome to Biblical Shorts with Tony. The reason I call it Biblical Shorts is it won't last long and you can soak it up like a sponge, like by osmosis you can learn. I'll go over the Greek alphabet with you real quick. You have to excuse me because I'm limited for space here. And it's alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, z, xi, which is pronounced C, omicron, phi, rho, rho, sigma, tau, not epsilon, but upsilon is, I'll pan it over here, I'm sorry. Upsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. And our word for today, Biblical Shorts, is one word, and it's pronounced tetelestai. And it takes three of our English words to make up this word amalgamated into three words. It is finished. When Jesus said on the cross, it is finished, and he gave up the ghost. It's found in John 19:30. Tau, epsilon, tau, epsilon, lambda, sigma, lambda, epsilon, sigma, tau, iota. So I'll go over that again. Tau, epsilon, hyphenated, so to have an lambda, epsilon, sigma, tau, iota. And tetelestai equals it is finished. And so Jesus exclaimed, it had four meanings to this one word. Jesus exclaimed that he had finished the work the Father had sent him to do, so it was mission accomplished. So like if you were employing somebody and you sent them out to finish a task, they would come back and say, it's finished, I'm done. So you get that word in that sense. And the second meaning is the equivalent of the Hebrew word spoken by the high priest when he presented a sacrificial lamb yearly or annually. He poured the blood on the mercy seat. The high priest done for one more year. It only lasts for a year for sin atonement, and that's where we get without the shedding of blood, there's no atonement for sin. There had to be even in the Old Testament, there had to be shedding of blood. But Jesus gave the ultimate sacrifice. And thirdly, also used in business world, declaring a debt had been paid. It was always stamped like paid in full, tetelestai. So that's the third one. And the fourth one is the word also depicted a turning point. This to me is the most important. To others it may be not as important, but to me, a turn point when a period had ended. So we had gotten out of the law and we were under grace. And thank God for grace. A new dispensation, a new covenant, a new testament had begun. Okay, now if you'll indulge me to turn this over, gotta go here, and I've got some studies on the other side. Okay, it's pertinent to this same thing. I need to cooperate. All right. Now we'll put the board back where it should be. You'll indulge me in a little bit of patience there. Okay. And we went over before. The number 4, it had 4 meanings. Okay. And to me, from a friend of mine I had, his name's Kevin, he's went on to be with the Lord. He was sharp in the numbers. And he was very astute. And he taught me that the number 4 meant Father, Son, Holy Ghost with man added. He said, well, that don't make sense. We're added with God. Well, yeah, because it says at the marriage supper of the Lamb, any marriage means these two shall be as one. So we're going to be as one with God. And it's kind of ironic that there was five governors of Judea. It's a province. A province is like British Columbia, Alberta, Quebec, Ontario is to Canada. But Judea, there was 5 governors. And it's ironic that there was 5 governors, because that number 5 really means something. It's okay. It was Coponius, then Marcus, and Bibulus, Rufus, Taneus, Valerius, Gratus, and one we all know well, all too well. He said, "I wash my hands of this matter. I find no fault with this man." And that was Pontius Pilate. He was the 5th governor. And what is God's number of grace? God's number of grace is 5. I mean, that just kind of blows my mind. But that's not the end of it. There was the emperor of Rome, which Pontius Pilate served under, was Tiberius. But before Tiberius was Emperor Augustus Caesar, and he ruled from 27 BC to 14 AD. And then Tiberius Caesar from 14 AD to 37 AD. So if you'll add all those together, the 5 governors and the 2 leaders that were emperors, that makes 7. And what is God? All together, 7 leaders up to Yeshua, aka Jesus. His 7 leaders up to Yeshua. His death, burial, and resurrection. 7 is God's number of completion or perfection. So that's one part I wanted to show you. And then one more thing. There was a veil when this happened in the temple when he said it's finished. And this come from a renowned author in the 1800s. His name, he was a Jewish convert to Christianity. His name was Alfred Edersheim. And it said the veil before the most holy place was 40 cubits, which cubits, you think, well, what is a cubit? Well, he went on to tell it correlates it to 60 feet wide. And the thickness was a handbreadth, which was 3 to 4 inches. It's like these 4 fingers together. That's how thick it was. It's about the palm of the hand. And it brought 72 squares, which were joined together. And these were so heavy that the exaggerated language of the time, it needed 3,000, which was to be 300 priests manipulate each. If the veil was all such as described in the Talmud, it could not have rent in twain. So the earthquake that happened, it didn't tear it in two, and the lintel fall didn't tear it in two. It was as if some invisible hands, and we knew who those invisible hands was, tore the veil on the inner part, not the outer veil, but the veil from the Holy of Holies, ripped it in two and put it on each side, threw it away. And man will never have to dwell in tabernacles built by man's hand again. He dwells within us. And so there was another scholar, his name is Maurice Henry Harris. I want you to research what I say, because don't take my word for it. Make sure you do your own research. There was 300 priests. He reiterates what Alfred said, the Jewish convert. But this scholar, Maurice Henry Harris, said 300 priests were told off, or in Old English speaking, or they were designated to draw the veil of the temple aside. The thickness of the veil was a handbreadth, like I told you. These 4 fingers go across your palm. That's pretty thick. It was woven in 72 cords, and each cord consisted of 24 strands. It was 40 cubits long, which is 20 feet wide. When it became soiled, it took 300 priests to immerse it in some type of cleansing fluid or whatever to cleanse it. When it was torn in two, the high priest was standing his station in the temple at that time. So if Caiaphas was the one, as he was the high priest, Caiaphas was standing in the temple. That's what I believe whenever that written too. And even a Roman soldier, I believe it was Longinus, said, surely this must be the Son of God. And so when it split from and not only did it split, but it split from the top to the bottom. If it went from the bottom to the top, man would have done it. But it top to the bottom. So many scholars of that day said the earthquake did not do that. So something supernatural, which was Jehovah. When Jesus said it is finished, to telestai, it was done and over. Yeah. So it means to end, to bring to a completion. This is the definition of tetelestai, to bring to completion, or to a conclusion, to accomplish, to fulfill, or to finish. One scholar notes that anything has reached this state has arrived at completion, maturity, and perfection. And so this is all I'm going to tell you for today. But I just want to leave you with this one thing. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. And Jeremiah 33:3 says, call to me, I will answer you, and show you great and mighty things which thou knowest not. Thank you for listening to me, and God bless you.